This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is.
Eddie, you were on the first podcast. You were on podcast number 1.
Damn.
And now you're on podcast 200.
Holy shit. Blowing up.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, I feel like more and more people are coming to our side. And they're more and more into what we're talking about. And more of them are hot chicks. The Bushes for the sure were New World Order. For sure.
100%.
Like, and almost like George Bush was
the leader.
The leader of that shit.
Yeah.
I just think that.
Or the top general. I'm sure there's people above.
Yeah,
him.
there's the Rothschilds, and above that are
I think the Bushes are right there with the Rockefellers.
family.
The Bushes and the Rockefellers are same level.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
They're Bushes maybe aren't original 13, but they're pretty much
Dude,
like
Bushes go back to the turn of the century, back when George Senior's grandfather.
Yeah,
His father was Prescott Bush, but his grandfather was Samuel Bush, and that guy was Frank Rockefeller's right-hand man. So they've been intertwined with the Rockefellers over 100 years.
Yeah. I mean, like, the dude straight up work with Nazis.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting. And now we have this move by YouTube to censor Nazi videos. And it sounds like that's a really great thing, right? It's like, oh, yeah, get rid of the bad Nazis. But then you got to go back, who started, CIA starts Google. Google buys YouTube, rechanges their name to Alphabet. But who starts Google? CIA. Who started the CIA? The Nazis. So it's almost like they're not even trying to censor it. They're just more cleaning up their tracks at that point, Yeah,
you just look at everything that YouTube's trying to censor, and then, that'll give you a good idea of what the truth is. You know what I mean? Whatever they're trying to bury, there's a reason they're burying it.
And it's just so weird because it's like you could literally like put out a conspiracy that they want, like a Russian collusion conspiracy, and they won't touch it. And then you put out something that hits close to the power, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, this got demonetized. I don't really care if my channel gets demonetized. That doesn't mean anything to me. I've always been demonetized, so that's just
I don't give a
that's
shit.
part of my life. I earn my dollars. Talk about American-made boner pills, okay?
Yeah.
That you get for promo code HAT. All right. So I don't really mind when I see that yellow dollar sign.
I've never taken a penny from YouTube, or I've never monetized any of my shit. I don't give a shit about
Is this
that.
book burning? Do you see it as book burning? What's going on?
Absolutely.
They're not
Duncan-
censoring aliens no more. And you called that a long time ago.
Yeah, of course.
Now they're
not.
just
They
pushing
want-
it now. There's a lot of podcasts.
They've always
Yeah.
want aliens. They're preparing us for the ultimate event that will have us embracing the New World Order. And the only way we're going to embrace the New World Order is if there's an alien threat. That's what this is all about. That's what all of it. Since, 1945, the end of World War II, right? Operation Paperclip. We get half the Nazis. They get half. Russia gets half the Nazis. It just turns out that we become the two superpowers.
Wouldn't you love to be at that draft? Okay, picking with the first pick in the draft. The United States selects Von Braun.
Yeah, with the first pick. So we get half the Nazis. Russia gets the other half. Russia, who fakes space? Russia and the United States. We fake space. Who has like super like MK Ultra programs? Russia and the United States. So it was like who was trying to scare their own people with fake UFOs that they built? The Nazis. The Nazis were doing that. They did that. No one disputes that. So when we took the Nazis, they were probably surprised that we weren't trying to scare our people with aliens. Go, dude, you guys aren't on aliens yet? What the fuck are you doing? So they were like right away, 1947, Roswell. That was some bullshit. That shit wasn't real. That's part of the whole fake alien invasion. They right away, all these comic books in the 50s came out, nothing but space and Mars attacks and all these shitty ass movies of Martians and Martian this, Martian that. They're gonna attack us. Everything. Star Trek was created by a Freemason. All the astronauts are Freemasons. 2001 Odyssey, Stanley Kubrick, Werner von Braun. directed all 6 moon missions. His best friend is Walt Disney's balls deep in creating science fiction in space before it, dude, just it's mind-boggling that red flags aren't up for everybody. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Why do you think people fight it so hard?
The indoctrination is so strong, dude. You grow up with all you see is space. E.T., Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, space. I sit there and I watch the latest animated movies with my son, cartoons. Space is in everything. They have space in everything. That's the number one component of a children's program. They're going to throw space in there and aliens and all that shit. And then dinosaurs too. They throw a lot of dinosaurs in there. So by the time you're in your 20s or 30s and people start questioning it, there's no way you're going to think that's the stupidest shit ever. You walk into a class from day one, there's a globe in your class, all that shit. Come on, man. Come on.
It is, they are stubborn when it comes to being lied to.
Yeah. It's the craziest thing ever. Flat Earth is the craziest thing, but guess what, dude? It's fucking flat, dude. And everyone is going to find out eventually. No one ever gets into flat Earth and then turns back. You don't. It's like Santa Claus. When you find out Santa Claus isn't real, people don't go back and say, you know what, I'm starting to believe in Santa Claus again. No, it's the same fucking thing, dude. Water is level. That's the science of water. When we're talking about science, the science of water
Explain that to somebody
level.
Turning in. What do you mean by water and level? You're saying that water
is always level no matter
level.
what.
Can't, like if this was like, let's say I had a ball here, right? And I was having water shoot down it, it wouldn't go around the ball?
It'd go around and drip off.
Like this? It wouldn't go around it. Is that what you're saying?
It'd fall.
No, it would just fall off. It would just drip off. Imagine a tennis ball that's wet and you spin it. What happens? The water flies off, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that keeps the ball earth theory together is gravity. That's the only thing. But gravity's never been proven. Like, gravity's been proven. Look, gravity. No. Gravity. Like you pick something up, look, gravity. No. Try doing that to a helium balloon. Then what? What is that? Helium balloon, an anti-gravity spaceship. What about a helium balloon? You can't explain that, can you? Why doesn't that drop? You drop the mic because the mic falls because it's more dense than the medium that surrounds it. Helium balloon is less dense, so it goes up. Anything that's less dense than the medium that surrounds it goes up. Anything that's more dense goes down. You drop a rock that you can fit in the palm of your hand, you drop it in the ocean, what happens? It sinks. You drop a tennis ball, what happens? It floats. It floats. It's right there in between the air and the water because it's more dense than the air, but the air that's inside the ball is less dense than the water, so it's right there in the middle. Doesn't sink. What is that? There's a force strong enough to keep the ocean stuck to it, but it's not strong enough. It's not strong enough to affect a helium balloon or smoke or birds. Birds can do. If there was a force strong enough that kept oceans attached to it, we would be stuck to the fucking ground. We would be stuck to the ground. Come on, man. Come on. It's really simple. Things fall because they're more dense than the medium around it. They rise because they're less dense. Helium balloon, explain that. Explain that. Can't explain it. You just, gravity. Gravity. I can, in any country, in any city, I can prove to you that water will always find its level. I could just take a bottle of water and I could prove it. But no one could ever prove that a ball can, water that can stick to the exterior of an object. Water conforms to the interior of an object. It doesn't conform to the exterior. You can't.
Have we ever recreated gravity in science?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, he'll even tell you. He's like there's a famous video. He goes, well, when you talk about gravity, we don't know.
What is gravity?
You have no idea. Okay, next question.
Wow.
No, here's the difference. We can describe gravity. We can say what it does to other things. We can measure it, predict with it. But when you start asking, like, what it is, I don't know.
So did I accidentally ask a deeper question than I meant to?
Yeah, no, you were meant to ask deep questions.
Apparently I was.
In life. So to say, what is it? I think Einstein, in an Einsteinian answer, we would say gravity is the curvature of space and time. And that and objects will follow the curvature of space-time, and we interpret that as a force of gravity. That's probably the best answer I can give to a what is gravity question, or why is there gravity. That's the best I can do there. I think that's a good start. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch.
It's a theory. It's a
Do
theory
you
that's
find
been...
it interesting that all the allegations against him mysteriously went away, like so quickly? Like everybody
sense.
else who got convicted, accused of stuff, took a beating.
He's done a lot. I mean, look what he's doing, pushing. You saw him when he dropped that mic and showed flat earthers what was up. He dropped that mic. He's so smart.
I'm gonna have to do something I rarely do. I gotta hit the science panic button.
Science Emergency Defense Program initiated. Science Emergency Defense Program initiated.
Oh my God.
Science Emergency Defense Program initiated.
Oh my God. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Larry, it's Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson, everybody. Yes. Look at that. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm trying to eat my dinner. I got your distress call. Is everything okay?
No, Neil, everything is not okay. This BS about the Earth being flat is getting out of control. Can you please help us?
All right, hold my sandwich.
Oh, sure. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Here, you take that. Here. You want? Oh my God. Okay. Oh.
All right, listen, B.O.B., once and for all. The Earth looks flat because, one, you're not far enough away at your size. Two, your size isn't large enough relative to Earth to notice any curvature at all. It's a fundamental fact of calculus and non-Euclidean geometry. Small sections of large curved surfaces will always look flat to little creatures that crawl upon it. But this whole thing, it's just a symptom of a larger problem. There's a growing anti-intellectual strain in this country. It may be the beginning of the end of our informed democracy. Of course, in a free society, you can and should think whatever you want. And if you want to think the world is flat, go right ahead. But if you think the world is flat and you have influence over others, as would successful rappers or even presidential candidates, then being wrong becomes being harmful to the health, the wealth, and the security of our citizenry. Discovery and exploration got us out of the caves, and each generation benefits from what previous generations have learned. Isaac Newton, my man, said, if I have seen farther than others, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. I get an amen. Woo. So that's right, B.O.B. When you stand on the shoulders of those who came before, you might just see far enough to realize the Earth isn't flat. And by the way, this is called gravity. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch.
You know what I mean? He wouldn't challenge Eric Dubay to a debate. Eric Dubay was down. Joe Rogan was going to set that up. Me and Joe were like, because we were arguing about flat Earth. And I said, why don't you just have Eric Dubay on the show and debating Neil deGrasse Tyson? Neil deGrasse Tyson, he'll talk shit when there's no flat earthers around, but he ain't going to talk shit around Eric Dubay.
Back in December 2017, Joe Rogan announced on his podcast that a debate between Eric Dubay and Neil deGrasse Tyson was going to happen.
It looks like we're going to have Eric Dubay, he said he's agreed to do it, talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. What? Yes.
Joe bragged that if a flat earther was sitting across from Neil deGrasse Tyson, he would refute all of their points.
Yeah, if he's not sitting across from Neil deGrasse Tyson, because if he was, Neil deGrasse Tyson would be like, hold on, that's not how it works. Hold on, that's wrong. Hold on, this is why we know that's incorrect.
Then, when Neil deGrasse Tyson came on Joe's podcast, he refused to debate flat earthers.
I had asked you to debate one of them flat earth guys.
No, I don't. I can't. No.
I know. We talked about it, and we were going to have him on Skype.
No, what we do is, and I think this is a diabolical plot, so that the next time we can ship people en masse into orbit, they all want to be the first in line because they know we're going to send them. so that they can see the round Earth. They're going to be the first ones in space, just so they can stop annoying the rest of us.
If the flat Earth theory is so absurd, shouldn't it be easy for the world's most renowned astrophysicist to debunk? Why would he back out of a debate that science can effortlessly refute? Perhaps Neil knew that flat earthers, like Eric Dubay, have too many counter-arguments that he wouldn't be able to keep up with, and losing a debate to the flat earth theory would be devastating to the mainstream scientific consensus.
So what happened? I'm guessing someone at NASA told Neil, you're not going to go head-to-head against Eric Dubay because you're going to look foolish. Prove me wrong.
Eric Dubay would smash Neil deGrasse Tyson with science. With science. The science of water is it's always level. The Earth is 70% water. We should be able to find curvature in the ocean. On land, land is uneven. You really can't. It's unpredictable land. You really can't measure curve correctly. But in the ocean, we're 75% water. There should be, if the water is curved, it curves at a certain consistent rate. And they've already figured that out. They figured it out. If we're on a ball that's 25,000 miles in circumference, that's what they say. That's what school will tell you. That's what the textbooks tell you. We're a ball that's 25,000 miles in circumference. At that size, the ball should curve at a rate of 8 inches per mile squared, not 8/16. It's 8 and then 32. At that rate, no one disputes that. All the people battling, there's people that battle flat earth. There's just all these battles going on. There's battles everywhere on YouTube. They all know the formula. And with that formula, at 100 miles in the ocean, there should be 6,600 feet of curvature. But how do Navy ships target other ships 100 miles away? How do they do that? They take pictures. They have a laser that targets other ships 100 miles away. It's impossible. That's impossible.
How high do you have to go,
flat.
do they say, for
It's
you
flat.
to
They
see
say 10,000.
curvature?
They say 10,000.
No.
10,000
What?
10,000 feet.
No.
That's what they
Neil
said. That's
deGrasse
what someone
Tyson.
said.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay, ships or airlines, they travel at 35,000 feet on average,
Yeah.
right? So, and then people always say, oh, look at a fucking plane. You can see the fucking curve. No, dumbass. You can't see a
can't
curve
see the curve.
at 35.
I keep trying
Because
to
your
look
boy
for it.
Neil Tyson, he said that you can't even see the curve of the Earth at 110,000 feet. Planes fly at 35,000 feet. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, there's a video. All the video, the shit he says, dude, it's all over like the flat earth community. They dissect all that shit. And there's a video, and the reason why he says that is because there's all these amateur balloon cameras at they go up, they stop at 110,000 feet. They don't really get any higher than that. But at 110,000 feet, it's still flat. Right? So Neil deGrasse Tyson had to come out and say, the world is so big that even at 110,000 feet, you still can't see the curve. Even at 110,000 feet, it still looks flat. You're just not high enough. So that's very interesting that he says that, because you got all these fucking idiots saying that they see the curve of the Earth at 35,000 feet. Shut the fuck up. Listen to your boy Neil deGrasse Tyson. Shut up with that shit. You know what I mean? And then all that shit with Steve-O, and he's saying, yeah, the Red Bull jump, and I saw the curve. That was about 100,000 feet, dude. Your boy Neil deGrasse Tyson said there's no curve.
Now, you know, I don't. It's fine. He wants to. I don't have a problem if he does it, but the honesty of it would greatly diminish what I think people thought he was actually doing. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. Right. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, "Wow, he's in space. Look at that." No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat.
Oh, and then you have all those pictures, those fake-ass fish-eyed lens pictures. Everyone gets fooled with the fish-eyed lens. They all get fooled. They're these fake-ass pictures of the International Space Station. It's a picture of Earth, They're supposedly on the International Space Station. You could find one of those international picture of Earth from There's gonna be like a little. On the side. You're gonna see like a little solar panel, a little arm to let you know they're on the International Space Station, and then they show you the Earth curved, and it's a fisheye lens. It's basically a picture from maybe 100,000 feet on a plane. They take a picture and then they just put with a fisheye lens, and then they look at that shit. This is the shit you see all day. All day. Find one. They see that? There it is, the solar panel. What did I tell you?
Yeah, he did call it a solar panel. He's like, the solar panel.
Dude, right there. All the pictures are like that. People are so full. They think that's a picture from International Space Station. And they curve it. Look at that. All of them. Look at that. This bullshit, dude. Come on. And people buy it. They believe it, dude. They believe all that shit. Look at that. See the tops of that? Look at that page. Oh, we're from the International Space Station. Look. Oh, you think that's a
that's definitely a fisheye lens.
Dude, they're all fisheye lens, dude. That's how they get people. People are so fucking retarded. Like, how many times they got to fake the moon mission before you don't believe shit coming from them? How many times? Me, it's 6. Some people might be 20. I'll still give them another chance. I believe in them.
Do you think that those people from the Challenger are still alive that blew up?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Can you look that up? Look up Challenger crew still alive. Live after explosion. Now, go click on images real quick. This is so interesting. I can't wait to get Aaron's thoughts on this. This will be click on that. Okay, so if you go through this picture, these are pictures of these astronauts at that time, and then people who have the exact same names except for the black guy and the Asian, who are supposedly twins of theirs, okay? So they're supposed to be the twins, but everybody else pretty much has the exact same name, okay? So keep that open. Open up another one. And let's see the names that are supposedly still alive. Now, it's so interesting because they didn't know the internet was going to be around at this time.
Yeah.
So they didn't even think about changing their names.
1986, I think.
Right. So it wasn't even close to this. So you go, go click on space.com. Okay. See if we can get the names of oh, there it is. Go click it. Okay. Yeah. And get that one over there. Over. Nope. There you go. Yeah. Click on that. That's the names of these guys. Okay. So each one of these have a name, right? Except I think Greg. They can't find who Greg, and he's probably the one who was like, "Fuck you, I ain't changing my lives." Oh, boom, suicide, right? But everybody else has somebody that has their similar name, like Dick Scorby is like Rick Scorby, right? And then if you go up, so. Where? You can find where the names they give you. Oh, there. Go to that one. Go over. Nope. Oh, that one. I think that's it. Yeah, they give you their names and what the real names are. Nope, that's not it.
No, that's not them. Yeah.
So it's crazy how they're still alive. It's so freaking weird.
If I had to guess, nobody is going on those space shuttles. They just launch them. There's nobody in there, and they launch them. They land in space.
Click on that one, dude. Up one. There you go. That one right there. Where they show you their faces, and it's basically the same people. Look at that one in the bottom. It's the same guy, and they all have the same name. They all have the same name.
Yeah, they were never on the space shuttle. I don't think anybody's on the space shuttle. I think they just launch them, and they land in the ocean or whatever, or maybe they're just high altitude planes. But what happened probably is. Yeah. That space shuttle blew up, and that was an accident. And now they go, now what do we do? We're supposed to be dead. And they just said, fuck it.
Look at that. That's her name. Sharon Christina whatever her name is.
McAuliffe.
And then look at what her name is. Sharon A. McAuliffe. Like, she didn't even change her name, man.
Yeah. She changed her middle name.
No, but
she changed her middle name, dude. It's just Sharon McAuliffe.
She did. Like they don't even change their names because they never knew that the internet was going to be around. So they didn't expect that the people would be able to go back and look at them, right?
Yeah.
It's so.
At what point do you get suspicious? At what point?
Oh, I don't trust NASA as far as I can kick it. Okay, go up to click that one. Click that one right there with the chick. No. Up there. One? Second to last. Yeah, that one. Nope. Okay, you just lost it. Okay, go where they show the
You need a red pointer.
Where the before and after. All right? See that down there? If you look at that chick right there, if you look at her.
Dude, that's so her.
Yeah, look at the way she
name.
smiles.
She didn't even change her name.
Yeah, and just at the smile, like the little click, like they point out how their facial features are exactly the same. Their haircuts are exactly the same. It's so hilarious. It's just unbelievable how nobody sees this. It's just unbelievable how nobody gives a shit. It's unbelievable.
Indoctrination is strong, dude.
You know why? They just can't believe. I love that Aaron's sleeping during the big 200. It's the big 200. This is the big fat party, and you're over there sleeping when we're over here partying like it's 86 when this thing exploded. So I want to get into. So if it's flat, we're gonna give you it's flat. Is it infinite?
No one knows.
And it just keeps going.
We don't know.
Like some weird GIF on fucking the internet.
Nobody's seen a picture.
Space is like that. They say space is infinity.
Yeah, so why not an infinite plane? Who knows?
I mean,
don't know.
Are you a flat earther, XG?
No, but every time
are you married to the ball? Are you married?
No, fuck no. I'm not married to
shit. Once you say you're not married to the ball, you're on your way, dude. It takes about 2 years. Trust me, you don't go back. Once you start questioning and then you start looking into it, and then once you get into a little tiny discussion or argument with your friend about it, now you got to prove
You know how often it happens at a bar now?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What do you do? Oh, I do conspiracies. Oh, you believe in flat earth? And then I'm like, oh, it's not that I don't.
Yeah.
And and then I get two type of people. One, they get really fucking upset. They think I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
And then other ones were like, dude, no fucking way. So am I. I don't tell no one. Yeah. So am I. And they get like these secret guys.
I get some awesome flat earth information from a UFC Hall of Famer, former champion, super famous in the broadcasting part. He doesn't want anybody to know.
Ronnie Lott.
He doesn't want anybody to know because, obviously, there's a chance that it could
blow up in his face,
ruin his broadcasting career or whatever. You know what I mean? So but he knows more about flat earth than most guys I know. And he just sent me a bunch of cool documents from NASA and the Russian space program, all talking about things that are on a flat plane, like in regards to flat Earth. It's pretty crazy, man.
I admit I'm afraid to commit either way. I'm afraid to commit.
No, you are because of the ridicule. I was too for like a year and a half.
But you can choke motherfuckers out. I have to sit there and be like,
nobody's gonna fight. It's not like wearing a MAGA hat. Can you imagine if you had a flat Earth hat and people got violent with you? That'd be crazy.
Map that they put out that like they hadn't even discovered Antarctica yet, but somehow it's on this fucking map.
There's a lot of crazy old maps.
And how crazy is it if you do a flat, or if you make the Earth flat, the center is Israel?
No, the center is North Pole.
No, look it up.
The center of the flat Earth model is the North Pole.
I'm saying if you took, if you took the Earth, right, and you flattened it out, right in the middle, I think
is North Pole.
Depending on where you flatten it, right?
It depends where you flatten it at.
Yeah, but if you flatten it the flat Earth model is really kind of like looking over the North Pole, and then like if this was a ball, they would open up, and the middle is the North Pole,
and the South Pole would kind of be
like one thing we know for sure is compasses. There's some magnetic force in the north, right? That's one thing we know for sure. I don't need to read a study that says compasses point to some magnetic force in the north. There's something that's fucking making these things point to the fucking north, dude. It's a compass, and it's going no matter where you're at. It's that way. It's that way. It's that. We know that for sure. And another thing we know for sure is the North Star Polaris is directly over the North Pole. So the Polaris is directly over the North Pole, which has this force that is making all compasses point towards it. And then when you look at time-elapse photography of the stars, Polaris doesn't move at all, and all the stars go around Polaris.
What I found interesting.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. that
We
no
know-
matter where you are in the world,
Polaris is over the North Pole,
Yeah.
and stars are going around
yeah,
Polaris.
I could be in Latin America. It's
So
still
it's
in the
like
north.
it's like whatever force compasses are pointing to,
Right.
that force goes up and connects to Polaris.
So we
dude.
have this.
It's
we have this.
Too much
right?
of a coincidence.
Here we are,
that-
right? This is the globe right here, right? And if I'm right here, okay, I look up. There's Polaris, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm right here, why is it still in the same spot? That's what you're saying. If I'm right here, let's say I'm here in like.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you look at. I'm just saying you're talking about a ball. I'm not talking about a ball.
No, but I'm saying if the ball theory is correct, right? You're saying that if I'm sitting right here, Polaris should be right up there, right? But if I'm sitting here on the bottom, I should not be able to see Polaris because there's Earth in front of me, right? And I should be looking down this way. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that, but I understand what you're saying. But no matter what, no matter how high anything is, the further it goes away, if something is, let's just say 100,000 feet above you, and it stays at that altitude, 100,000 feet, the further it starts flying away, and it's still 100,000, the further it starts flying away, it'll descend. That's your perspective. So the further it goes away, it'll descend until it's gone, and it's too small, and it disappears in the horizon. That's how things work. That's when you stand in the middle of the street. You stand right there in the middle of the street. All the light posts, every light post, is shorter. Then the next one is shorter, and then the next, like to you, the light poles are like this. Then the next one's a little shorter. The next one's a little shorter, and it's coming in too. They're getting shorter, and it's coming in. Are they really shorter? No, it just appears that way because of your perspective. So you're actually looking at an optical illusion. You're actually seeing that second post is shorter. It's an optical illusion. It is shorter according to your vision, but you know it's the same size. But you're not looking at it the same. It's just the perspective.
And
it's not the distance. Distance too, and the perspective with the distance. So, the North Star, the further you get away from the North Pole, whether it's flat or a ball, the lower it's going to get, and lower until there's going to be a point where you're not going to be able to see it. There's a certain point. You're just not always going to be able to see it. So some people think, oh, it's because we're going around the ball, I can't see it. No, it's just because even if it's flat, at a certain point, you're not going to be able to see it anymore. You're just so goddamn far away, right? Same thing with the sun.
Right.
Same thing with the sun. Because on a flat Earth,
How far away do you think the sun is?
the sun is super close.
You think the sun is super close?
Like if like let's just say the International Space Station, right?
Right.
That's supposedly 250 miles in the sky. In space. It's in space. That's what they say.
Right.
And it's about 250 miles. There's people that think, a lot of flat earthers think that the sun is probably 3,000 miles away. And it's the exact same distance as the moon, and they're the same size and the same distance, and they're like a pair, like one's the night sun and one's the day sun. And when you look at them, they're exactly the same size. And during eclipses, what are the coincidence? What are the odds that they're the exact same size? So what they say is, oh yeah, they appear to be the same size, but the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon, and it's exactly 400 times further away. So that's why they appear to be the same. Something like that. It's some nonsense like that. It's something like that. But flat earthers believe that the sun is close, the moon is close, and they're like, look at it. Next time you look, when the sun's behind clouds, where you have shades on, you could see you could see it. That shit ain't 93 million miles away. And nobody checks that shit. No one checks like everyone that's gotten A's in physics or fucking they've been to college and they get A's or whatever. How many of them have proven to themselves with an experiment that the sun is really 93 million miles away? I'll tell you how many. None. None of them have proved it. None of them. When you look into like where they got that number, when you look into it, in 1961, NASA invented some kind of fucking laser that triangulates like Venus and the moon and all that. Then they got the 93 million mile answer. With some shit that NASA only has access to, that's how they know that the sun is 93 million miles away. But everyone just says, yeah, I got a fucking A. Like, how many people do you know did an experiment that proved that the sun is 93 million miles away? No, you just read it somewhere.
Yeah.
And you're regurgitating it.
That is my biggest problem.
You're just
with
reading
everything, is that Nobody, even if we're not even talking flat Earth, but we're talking geopolitics, nobody does any research, and they still think they have a PhD in everything.
Yeah.
I tell people, it's like, oh, you flat Earth. I go, dude, I've done no research. I just regurgitate what I was told as a kid.
I'll bet everything I have that Neil deGrasse Tyson didn't do any experiment that proved that the sun is 93 million miles away. He found out just like everybody else found out in a textbook or Googled it. You know what I mean? You think Bill, the science guy, actually did an experiment and proved without a shadow of a doubt that the sun is 93 miles away? It's impossible. Everyone just accepts that shit.
What is the goal? Why would they lie to us? What is the point of that?
The New World Order. Alien invasion. They're trying to create aliens.
It's all about to control us for how long?
They're preparing us for a fake alien invasion to scare us into a new world order, because that's the only way it's going to happen. We're going to beg the government to protect us. If there's these giant fucking spaceships and
give
shit.
them everything. We're going to give them everything.
Oh, dude, are you kidding? If there was an actual gigantic mothership hovering above you and they were fucking shooting lasers and killing people, we would be running to the military. We'd be running to the government, just like Independence Day. You think that's a fucking, just some random movie? They're getting us ready for it. The only reason they haven't done it yet is they don't think they have the technology yet. They have holograms and shit, but once they decide to go full blown, dude, they can't back out. And right now is the perfect time with all this D-class going on and all this shit. Right now is the time for the fake alien invasion. That's why on the news there's UFOs all over the fucking news every day. All these Navy pilots say they saw fucking UFOs. Oh, the Pentagon officials say they saw. Look at it. They're pushing aliens so fucking much right now. It's just like that documentary Abducted in Plain Sight, where that fucking guy convinces that little 12-year-old girl that she got abducted by an alien, just so you see that? Yeah. That's exactly. We're in one of those things. We're in a big but they don't know when to pull the trigger, because when they pull the trigger, it better be good, because there's going to be a lot of doubters that this is real. They gotta go. Imagine
hard to paint,
and that's the only thing that's going to save their ass. Indoctrination's strong, dude. The good news is once that shell of indoctrination cracks, it's just like a dam. Cracks don't crack. If it cracks, if you can get your shell of indoctrination to crack, it's just like a dam. The dams don't fix itself. That crack will continue to grow and splinter, and then boom, all the water will rush through, and it'll never come back. You know what I mean? So if your shit's cracking, you're on your way. If you're on the fence, if you say shit like, I'm not married to the ball, or I don't know, I'm not a flat earther, but they do have some interesting points, you're going to be a flat earther eventually.
It's true.
What?
The earth is flat.
Shaq, what are you talking about?
The earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
And we now know that these mosquitoes can get Zika virus very easily from biting somebody, and the world is flat. And so I think when we all look at this, we have to learn from it. Zika will be the first of many viruses over the years because the world is flat.
Flat Earth, you go Flat Earth, you go to YouTube, you're going to get nothing but debunker videos. Like, why are they making videos debunking Flat Earth if it's so stupid? Right. Why are there people making videos and spending a lot of time, full-time jobs, debunking what we live on?
Yeah.
Why are they doing that? How does Flat Earth have such legs? How does it have legs? It's so dumb.
Right.
How is it just keeps growing and growing? People are waking the fuck up. People are waking the fuck up. People are waking the fuck up. People are waking the fuck up.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That was a joke about the world being flat, right?
Was it?
People are waking the fuck up.
Baked Mojave Desert stretches for miles to the mountains. Beyond the mountains, the flatland stretches to the horizon. And beyond the horizon, according to Charles Johnson, the land continues to be flat. As a matter of fact, Charles Johnson believes the whole world is flat.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide.
Gonna find you and take it slowly. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly.
I was thinking last night about this case and their theory and how it didn't make any sense and how it didn't fit and how something is wrong.
If the Earth is a ball, anytime it's facing the sun, it's daytime. Anytime, so at nighttime, we're actually not the sun is on the opposite side. We're looking at this side.
Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Gonna find you and
People are waking the fuck up. People are waking the fuck up. People are waking the fuck up. And on his tombstone, it has a psalm, whatever, like Psalm 8. I don't know, like the Bible verses, but people are waking the fuck up. It's a particular psalm in the Bible that talks about the firmament, which is what people believe that, like, people are waking the fuck up. Why the fuck would he have that on his face?
ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly.
The outer limits of our imagination is just the beginning. That's why the stars are just fireflies stuck up on that bluish black thing. What did I just say?
I'm a magnet. When do you need to be a magnet?
Well, what superpower would you like then?
I came up with one. I'd be bullshit man. There's so many meetings going on where you know people are bullshitting. I'd just like to walk in, I wouldn't need a special costume, just dress like this. And I'd fly in, I'd go bullshit. You're talking bullshit, and they'd go, oh, it's bullshit man. And I go, yeah, it is bullshit man. You're talking bullshit.
I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch. You can and should think whatever you want. And if you want to think the world is flat, go right ahead. But if you think the world is flat,
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin.